Where we all say like hi at the same time
I feel like we should.
and like giggle.
Mind you, we're like,
No wait, we'll fight and be like, oh, camera's on. Oh my god, guys.
didn't see you there. Oh god. Anyways, I feel like that's a good enough way to intro. How's it going? Welcome to the podcast.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh. Who do we have
Wow,
here?
this is happening. Okay. Oh, hi. I'm Halena. I'm 21. I am a student at UCLA, minoring in film, and I really like movies. So yeah, I'm here today with Phillip.
I always forget that you minor in movies.
Yeah.
What do you even
same.
learn?
I learned like film history, but right now I'm in this kind of like performative class because I'm
Uh-huh.
learning how to like screenwrite.
Oh.
It's so interesting that the professor is like, oh, like tell me about your observations this week and that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I'll have to get back to you. I'll probably do something like super weird for finals week where I'm like acting out like with my fellow classmate, and that'll be my final.
Oh god.
But yeah.
You should like reenact like a movie scene.
Oh, I for sure would.
Reenact like
What was
reenact
it?
the torture
Could it
scene
be
from
King
Django
Kong?
Unchained.
Oh my god.
Just by yourself.
By myself. Yeah. Good
Yeah.
work. Thanks.
Anyways.
Sand Jane.
Yeah, I'm Phillip, 22.
Oh, sorry. I'm Michael. I'm 24.
Cool.
Oh. I
Yeah.
feel weird because only I gave my background. And like I thought you were gonna say like
That's so funny.
I like movies because, but now I just kind of hogged most of the show. Okay, let's move on then.
I like movies because
I like
don't
movies
know.
because
that should be your thesis statement for like
Yeah.
for your last paper.
Yeah.
I like movies because.
movies are cool.
Yeah. Speaking of movies, we're gonna be talking about some
Yes.
specifically movies that came out last year.
Yes.
Being
Specifically,
Yeah.
yeah. Because none of us can think of any of them.
Right. We had to pull up a list.
Yeah.
Did you guys like last year as a year for movies?
Oh, I thought you just meant in general. I was like, eh.
Just life
Oh,
was alright, it
I
was alright.
definitely did not like last year.
for movies.
But in movies, it was okay.
Oh
Yeah.
Yeah, we're on different
Yeah.
wavelengths.
Yeah, it's so funny. Yeah, in terms of movies, I felt it was kind of up and down, actually. I think that there was a lot of surprises and a lot of, like, letdowns this year. More than
Yeah.
usual,
Yeah,
kind of
I
thing.
think so too.
At least for myself.
Right. I get that.
Yeah.
I feel like I was really lukewarm about last year too. Like, I felt like a lot of the movies that the internet told me to like, I did not end up liking.
Okay.
I didn't like Logan that much. I didn't like Wonder Woman that much. I liked it, but I didn't like. I wasn't I wasn't amazed
You
by
didn't
it.
understand the hype.
Yeah, like not by any stretch.
You didn't like it either. Right?
Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
it was like super lukewarm as well. So I'm a little disappointed. But then you had awesome movies like 3 Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri, which I love. I really liked Get Out, even though I watched it again not too long ago, and like it really loses its appeal on second viewing.
Really, that's so interesting because I've seen it 3 times, and
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
the second and third time, I started noticing things like in terms of like from the family.
Yeah.
Instead
right.
of like just focusing on him
Yeah.
like you kind of normally are in a horror film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I started noticing like everywhere.
I would
else
imagine
around.
that too. Like all those small
Yeah.
things, like the way she separates her cereal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did
Like
you
all the
see
clues that made sense at first, but
Yeah. Did you see the was it an AMA? I don't know if it was an AMA with Jordan Peele about the movie, and like he answered a bunch of like Reddit questions, and he kind of says he said next time watch her instead. Watch Rose, I think her name is.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, and it'll completely change your perspective on the film.
Right.
It's wild.
Yeah. Great performances in that movie though, for sure. Daniel Kaluuya was really good.
Yeah, I saw him first in Black Mirror, I
Yeah.
think, before.
Yeah.
So talented. A lot of up and coming talent, I feel like.
Yeah.
nowadays.
Yeah, I forgot he had an accent, actually.
Yeah,
right.
he's a
I
Brit.
like the small
Yeah.
details.
Yeah, so crazy.
I was also surprised by John Boyega as well, that he has an accent.
Yeah,
He does a very good job
Oh,
of hiding it.
Yeah.
I totally forget that.
For sure. What other movies we see?
Dunkirk.
There were some good superhero movies because I don't know about Guardians of the Galaxy. That's kind
was
of like a hit or
another one
miss
I
for
was
some
like,
people.
yeah.
I liked it. But Spider-Man Homecoming and then Thor Ragnarok.
Thor got really good reviews, man.
Yeah.
I liked
Which was
Thor.
really funny. It was
Yeah.
like a weird addition to the series, you know, which has just been so dark and like Natalie
Yeah.
Portman.
Oh
And
man,
then now she
Natalie-
like conveniently
Okay,
dumps him.
How
I'm
did you
like,
feel
yes.
about that casting choice, by the way, of having her in it? Because I felt it was like it's the same as having Benedict Cumberbatch in Doctor Strange. They're too good at what they do.
Yeah.
For them to be in that.
It was a very economic choice, you know. When I saw her appear, I was like, I can see like the arguments like the studio heads are having about putting her in, but I don't see her as Jane, you know.
No.
Yeah. I'm kind of just like, I just think about the money. Like, you had to pay her so much money.
I know. But I do love her though, so I like couldn't get myself to hate her really. I was just like distracted
I just had to accept the choice. Yeah.
And like, she's a smart woman. Like, okay, I guess.
Yeah.
Natalie Portman's cool.
What would you say is your favorite Natalie Portman movie?
Black Swan. Not even a question. Black Swan.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Definitely Phantom Menace for me.
Wait.
Just kidding.
Her or Keira Knightley?
For
Keira
Knightley?
Yeah. No, that's a joke because you know how they're like twins in that movie?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Keira Knightley, by the way.
She was in Leon the Professional too, huh?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. She's such a good child actor.
As well.
That was a great movie.
I can't think of that actor's name, but he's been in a bunch of shit too.
Ooh, you're right.
Leon.
I was about to say Leon, but I realized that's the name of the character.
Yeah.
It's a documentary.
Yeah, he's in a lot of legal trouble for it now.
Yeah, we don't talk about Leon.
Yeah,
that much
Natalie
anymore.
Portman like asked to not interview about this.
Natalie Portman, she actually just had a very interesting quote yesterday about. She said that growing up as like a starlet
at the march.
like she experienced sexual terrorism, as she called it, because a lot of people within Hollywood were more or less just counting down the days until she turned 18.
Yeah.
And in her words, or the day that they could sleep with me.
Yeah.
Must be a very interesting thing to like.
God, that's so scary.
That is scary, dude.
Yeah.
I remember thinking of the Mary-Kate and Ashley twins.
Yeah.
Like, they were a really big example of men just, like, waiting for them to turn legal.
Oh, I
Bob
bet.
Saget, dude. They were saying, like, some shit with him.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know how true that is.
Oh.
I don't know how true that is.
I know he makes a lot of crass jokes implying that he's, like, slept with them.
Yeah.
Stand-up, you
What?
know?
Yeah, and not just that, but also, like, people, like, and, like, roast, like,
he
make
was,
fun of
like,
him.
a-
Like, what was the dude who plays... Is it Gilbert Gottfried, the comedian who does the parrot voice?
The
from
really, like,
Aladdin?
like scratchy,
does
like,
the joke
kind of
about
voice.
like
can't
going
believe
to a
I just did
bartender
that.
and asking for a Bob Saget, and it was like basically a roofie drink or something.
Oh,
This
no.
just turned so sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, back to fun times.
Anyway,
Back to, like,
yeah.
Year of the Woman,
Now that
guys.
being said,
Trump's America.
Yeah.
Get Out was good. That being
Yeah,
said, really enjoyed
yeah.
Get Out.
On that topic, though, I do feel like this is the year where we had some really good female characters, like Lady Bird, right? And
That's
then Frances McDormand in 3 Billboards.
That's right.
Yeah,
Just won her
so-
Golden Globe.
Yeah.
I do feel like Hollywood is listening to what we want, maybe more and more, but we should expect that from the Oscars. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
That tends to be how it goes as well. No.
Yeah, they are
It
getting
kinda
more
follows
receptive. Like after the whole Oscar so white thing,
Yeah.
I think they did take that into account.
I also feel like Moonlight kind of I'm
Yeah,
gonna say
we had a conversation about this.
I'm gonna say something that
I know
might
what you're
be-
about to say.
Yeah,
Okay.
might be a little bit controversial, but I'm gonna go out here and say it. And I will also preface what I'm about to say with this. When I saw Moonlight, it was multiple weeks before nominations even came out for the Oscars. Right after I watched it, I texted many people, yourself included, that I think that I just saw the Best Picture winner for what at the time would be the 2017 Oscars. And I think everybody kind of predicted La La Land to win, just because of how big of a splash La La Land was at the time. But I predicted Moonlight is going to win, and I think that the Oscars so white controversy is going to play into it. And lo and behold, Moonlight ended up winning.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think that, like, to an extent, it was definitely, not that it wasn't a good movie or anything, but there was definitely sort of like a bias, I felt like, after, or it was like almost a direct response to the Oscars so white. How did you like Moonlight?
I loved Moonlight.
I did so too.
I think it's fantastic. I think that Call Me By Your Name is a story that a lot of people are going to equate to Moonlight.
Yeah, and I really hope not, because they're both excellent in very different ways.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but they're both very lyrical, though, which
Yeah.
is what is refreshing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did like Moonlight. I thought it was very poetic.
Yeah, definitely.
I did watch it after Phillip, showered it with praise, and after it had won. So maybe I walked into it, expecting excellence, but it didn't, a lot of movies I expect excellence, and it kind of, lets me down. but
Yeah.
Moonlight lived up to it, really.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah.
I felt like myself being really confused by a lot of things in it. But it was definitely like
Gay, black men. They can be both.
In the ghetto?
None. No, it was really, really well done. But yeah, I found myself like kind of like trying to think about the movie more as it kind of went on than I felt like I kind of needed to, and I felt like it's one of those movies I'm gonna have to see maybe 3 to 4 times to kind of like really analyze what they were trying to go for in terms of message and stuff.
I get that. It's crazy how good that movie looked and how well produced it was based on like compared to like the budget it had, which I would assume is not a lot.
Yeah.
Anyways, quick funny story about Get Out. I had a professor my last semester of school, and he told me that he watched the movie one Monday when we were in class, and then I said, "Oh, I loved Moonlight. What'd you think about it?" My professor told me, he said, "I think it was the worst movie that I've seen in the last 10 years."
Wow.
That is a direct quote.
Wow.
And then I was like, "Yeah, I don't know, man. I think that it's gonna win Best Picture this year."
Yeah.
And then the Monday after the Oscars last year, walk into class, throw my hands up, and say, "Hey, guess what won? The worst movie of the last 10 years."
Yeah.
Hey, for like a split second, he thought he won against you. He's
Yeah.
like, ha, La La Land.
Yeah, dude,
that dumb Phillip.
That was a dick.
And what did you think about La La Land as well?
I don't know. What do you think about La La Land?
La La Land, I think, is a very, very good commercial film. If someone tells me it's terrible, I feel like they're being extra harsh just because of the sheer success it had. Like, I think it's one of those like very likable movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I was very entertained. I liked the music. I didn't really feel like confident in Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling's singing.
Really?
But I was like, you're kind of sacrificing that with like their names, I think, and like their acting ability and their chemistry as well from Crazy Stupid Love. I think the film sort of relied on it a little too much, but it was still like a great movie.
Right.
And I didn't necessarily enjoy the ending, but I think that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay. I love the ending. I think that's what made it from a good movie to a great movie.
Really?
You know, I was like very touched by it. Yeah.
Did you not like how it ended or the way they ended it?
I was kind of just like when they like see each other at the club, and then they go through the song, and it's kind of like them reliving like everything, but then they like kind of don't really acknowledge anything, and they kind of just nod at each other. And I was like, I wanted more. I think it was just because I wanted more.
Yeah, of course.
But that's definitely like a device and like that filmmakers use intentionally. So.
I think a movie's good if it leaves you with that I want more, but I will respect the fact that I didn't get more, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
But I definitely enjoyed it. Visually, the way they did the dance numbers, I thought was awesome. Very reminiscent of like old school.
With the with the smooth camera, you know.
Like just from the side almost, you know, and like progressing through their dance like and movement and stuff like that. I thought was really beautiful.
Yeah, like I feel like you cannot not appreciate like sequences like that in that movie.
Yeah.
But then there are also moments where I'm just like, what was the purpose of that? Like specifically what comes to mind is like Ryan Gosling's character singing the City of Stars song like on the pier, and then he's just like walking around, and then he like dances with like the black man's wife.
But have you not seen musicals? Like that's the charm of musicals.
Yeah,
but that, like people can do this.
Yeah, and you ever notice that the black guy is just like super stoked about it. Like if some dude just came up to my wife and started dancing, they'd be like, "What's happening?"
Like what the fuck?
Right, bye. Have a good one.
Yeah, I don't know. I just felt like it didn't add to the narrative. But overall, I thought La La Land was fantastic. I love Damien Chazelle. He made my favorite movie of all time, Whiplash.
He's doing so well.
Yeah, he's such a good director, and I love that he's like really. You could tell that he loves music because he incorporates it so much in all of his movies. Grand Piano, which is like his first major movie with Elijah Wood, really good movie, based on a grand piano. And Whiplash is like amazing. I feel like Whiplash. This is so. We have not discussed like a single 2017 movie yet, but
we're bouncing around here. Like, we'll get there.
I think Whiplash, made in 2014, is not only the best movie of that year. I think it's seriously one of the very best movies of all time, but most certainly of this decade and probably this millennia from 2000, from the year 2000 to now. I think it's just amazing.
I'll also say that I think like J.K. Simmons was really nice
yeah.
to see him kind of get some recognition because he's been in the business for
Yeah.
so long.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think kind of like known as like a great actor.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But and also like him in Spider-Man is awesome.
Oh, yeah.
So
I
great,
love
and the
him.
fact that like
Yeah.
you're never gonna see someone kind of get acknowledged for
Oh,
that.
right. He's
Yeah.
so
Sucks,
like
but,
cartoony.
Yep.
Yeah, but the way like he kind of, I felt like in a way channeled some of that into his role in Whiplash.
Yeah.
And
For sure.
It was great.
Right.
And
Speaking
Miles
of that
Teller as
Spider-Man, though, wow, do you remember much about the original Spider-Man series?
well. I remember.
And how weird it was when the third one came out, and he has like this
Yeah.
like
The
emo like
yeah,
transition.
I remember Tobey Maguire.
Sam
Yeah.
Raimi, dude.
I think everybody does, and they just kind of want to burn that out of their system. But
Yeah.
they can't.
Man,
Dude, Spider-Man 3 is still worlds better than the Amazing Spider-Man 2.
oh,
You guys ever ended up
Is
seeing
that
that?
okay? Oh, with
I didn't
Jamie
even
Foxx
watch
and,
it.
Yeah. Andrew Garfield, Jamie Foxx.
I don't know how I felt about it. It's tough because I liked everybody in it. So like,
yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Andrew Garfield, Emma Stone, like...
But if it's
Yeah.
cheaper the day after, then
I don't really know like what happened with that series in general. Like it's kind of weird. You notice
Yeah,
like,
they
after the
just
second one, they kind of
gave up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I read somewhere that someone said it was because they tried to just add so many villains. Like, and I was like, I don't know how true that is.
oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm getting some places now.
Yeah.
Wait.
Anyways, 2017. Interesting year for movies.
Interesting year for you.
Right.
Helena, you haven't seen
Never mind.
Star
a
Wars
lot
yet.
of things. Yeah, I haven't seen Star Wars. I haven't seen Coco.
Mm.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
I don't want this to be like a podcast of me explaining how I'm like not qualified to be here, but I haven't seen quite a bit.
I feel like I've only seen like
Wait, let's see.
Coco and Star Wars.
You gotta pick one of us, Phillip.
Yeah.
Phillip has to go.
Yeah, you're just gonna go from one side of the room to the other.
Yeah, holy moly.
I know. What
are
about-
your
yeah.
expectations? Or have you heard anything? One, and then what are your expectations kind of going into seeing it?
Okay.
Like, are you
For
ready?
for both of these? Or,
Yeah, we can do both. I was thinking
Okay,
more
I
on
mean-
Star Wars for sure.
Yeah, I guess I don't have much to say for Coco just because I trust like the creators behind it. Like I know it's gonna be fantastic.
Yeah.
Star Wars, I don't know because a lot of people have told me how they changed their opinions on it based on like their first or second viewing, like you included.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I have a tendency to stick with my gut on my first view. Like it's very rare that several days later I like change very drastically or I'll have to revisit. So I guess it'll depend for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, you two and Star Wars.
But I'm pretty.
Do you want to go now?
Ooh.
Yeah.
I
Take
mean,
this one.
But honestly,
Yeah.
like,
I
still-
am not a Star Wars fan.
Ooh.
yeah.
I don't look
actually,
at...
surprised.
Yeah.
I thought you were a fan. but-
No, I don't look back at Star Wars with like so much with so much nostalgia goggles on that I kind of
That's
I don't know.
good.
Yeah,
that
like-
is a good thing.
cuz like to me Star Wars was always like this like kind of cheesy like space opera as they like to call it, which I
I
don't
mean, you
even know
did,
what that's
you
supposed
did
to
grow
mean.
up because of like the prequels.
Yeah,
you
like
know,
I watched the prequels before I ever watched the original trilogy.
Oh,
So
disappointed.
so yeah, like when I was growing up, like I enjoyed the prequels for what they were, but then
Yeah.
when I got like more fluent in watching movies, I'm like these suck
I
ass.
don't
Like,
like sand.
Commercialized.
yeah, I don't like sand and I don't like these movies.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to watch them
For
anymore.
sure. No, I totally,
Yeah,
I
but-
agree with that to an extent.
So when I saw The Force Awakens, I was like, it's a good movie. I like it. Although the internet doesn't like The Force Awakens anymore, which is
Dude,
like
how weird was that when it came out, it was the greatest movie of all time. It had like a 99%, right? Rotten
Really? Okay, I
Tomatoes.
totally
The
forgot
longest
that.
time. And then all of a sudden, a lot of the reason was because they're like, oh, it was so great, like kind of having that nostalgia of like, they did a great nod to the originals, but still maintained their own story.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like next year, everyone's like, yeah, like all it was just like reminiscent of like the originals. I was like, yeah, but that's kind of what made it great. And then everyone's hating on it now.
Yeah,
for that
everybody.
reason.
It's
I was
absurd.
Yeah, people are odd.
Internet, sort it out, man.
like, figure it out.
Calm down. Like, stop hopping on a bandwagon. With that being said, though, I think The Last Jedi was not good, but I didn't think it was bad. I think that there were awful parts in it, talking about the casino planet in specific. But I also think that there were some fantastic parts in it. Like, cinematography in that movie was fantastic. I think that every shot was so well done.
Yeah.
I think that the visual style of the throne room fight scene was
Oh.
just... It was beautiful. And then
Absolutely stunning, yeah.
when the pointless female like army leader character like light speeded into
It was like I didn't get that, but at the same time, yeah, it was like kind of cool.
Yeah.
I was like, that's dope, but like, I don't think that's that's how it would work out.
Yeah, like, you couldn't have done this from the beginning.
Yeah.
Like,
Sorry.
but yeah, I mean, I think that. Well, yeah, I think there were
Well,
good
they're gonna,
parts,
like,
but there were also
Yeah.
horrible
I
parts.
don't wanna-
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I felt that it was a little too long,
Mhm.
probably because of that casino scene.
Yeah, fighting was going on.
Which you'll
was
see.
Mhm.
But I think
I'm stoked.
the reasons that I don't like it or I didn't like it the first time I saw it was mainly because of like more from like not like a Star Wars aspect from it,
Mhm.
but more about from kind of like a storytelling aspect because
Mhm. Yeah.
I just felt like it just became
Yeah, I want to like.
not like inconsistent, but it was like the first one or the Force Awakens like set up like three great potential
Oh, like,
like
explore
storylines,
Yeah.
and then in this one I felt like Ryan Johnson just kind of decided to take a shit on it.
Oh man. Okay.
And kind of just left it open for like a third movie ending
There's
it, I
no
guess,
high
because
heel.
I don't
Yeah.
really know
No,
like
high heel,
with the
oh my
trilogy,
God.
the second one's supposed to set up the
Yeah.
ending.
Yeah.
I don't really know what.
Me
What
either.
That is a
ending they're
pitfall a lot of
setting up.
sequels have.
Yeah,
You know,
and,
I think that's what brought
yeah.
the Hunger Games series to like such an anticlimactic
yeah.
ending, right?
Mhm.
That had like one of the biggest like I don't know disappointments I've ever
Yeah.
remembered in like modern. Like the
Yeah,
series
she's,
was
like,
so
the
big at
only
first,
person.
and then no one talked about the ending.
Yeah.
Like not a single person.
Yeah.
I don't think
So-
I've known anyone that's seen The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2.
Yeah.
I actually did,
I don't
yeah,
think
and
you
I was
liked it?
surprised
I saw
because.
Did
you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't really care for it.
But I did see
Definitely saw
it.
it.
Yeah, I saw it more because of like we were trying to figure out what to see that neither of us had seen yet, and we're like, okay, let's just do this.
Yeah,
But
I
it
just
wasn't
wanted to see
like-
how they were gonna
yeah.
end, because I was like, I read the books and I really enjoyed them. The books were like captivating and page turner for sure. And I just wanted to see. There was like one scene in particular at the end when with the sister.
Yeah, you wanted to see how that played.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, how are they gonna do this? And they
Right.
No.
The sister dies, right?
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
They
the
didn't
biggest
do a very
like
good
punch
job.
in your stomach, like
Yeah, yeah.
fuck you,
Like, it's-
Katniss.
Like the way it happened in the book too was so like out of nowhere
Mhm.
that it was like shocking as.
Oh, they just get like
fuck.
mortared, right?
Yeah.
No, it was yeah, basically like
Yeah.
she just said that she saw like the way they describe it. I remember so vividly. Reading it that she
Mhm.
said she turned and heard like basically the sound of
Yeah.
something going off or something, and then
Really?
she saw the ducktail, which is like so perfect
Oh.
because that brings you back to the first one
Yeah.
when she first like dresses her for that day, that
Mm.
very opening, and
Yeah.
you immediately know
Right.
like fuck, like holy shit, like jaw dropping.
I actually, I think the English snob in me is coming out, but I really didn't like the book series because I felt that moment was so cheap. you know?
Really?
Yeah. Not because I like am anti against her like dying, being
Mhm.
killed off after all this work,
Yeah.
but it's just there was such like a waste of like a potential because there was like this big like love story arc that very few people really were passionate about, I guess.
With like her.
Did
love
you
for
think
her
so?
family
Yeah.
as well.
No, with like between her and Josh. I forgot their names.
Josh, Peta?
Peta and Gail, right? It's like you have a revolution going on. You could be talking about like your sister being in danger and like trying to fight her and keep her out of things more, and that
Yeah.
would make such like an interesting dynamic.
Mhm.
But no, it's just like your sister was killed.
Yeah.
Like fuck you, and then that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they didn't really
They
focus
didn't build
a
up
lot
to
on
it.
like the family aspect of
Yeah.
like, her situation with her family and the way she is, like
Mhm.
why she is the way she is. You know?
Yeah.
That's like kind of the tough part I think of like filmmaking, like for sure. Like because
That's true.
I have that problem with the Harry Potter movies, which I think
Oh.
we've talked
Oh
about. a little
wow. Okay.
bit, where like I hated like after Goblet of Fire, I like hated the movies.
Wow.
Can we
thought they were
talk
terrible.
about how Goblet of Fire, like everyone just grew so much hair and then like, never came back again?
I was thinking about that because I was thinking about that. I think I was in like middle school at the time, and everybody, I think that was like
Really?
the trend
Okay.
in like fashion, like every like guy
I know.
just grew their hair out. I don't know if that was like how it was for
It
you,
was
but I
so
just remember that
ugly.
in like school, everyone had the little like hair
Yeah,
flip or
yeah.
like the helmet.
Down for, like,
of
The
hair.
helmet.
Yeah, Harry
helmet
did not
of hair.
that hair did not move, and I don't know if that's hair and makeup or
Well,
just like the style at the time.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I was just, that's so funny that you
Yeah.
picked up on that as well.
It's hilarious.
They like because the books for sure are a great piece of literature, and the way they talk about the relationship between Harry and Voldemort and like the past and how it kind of set up everything for like these stories was so pivotal in my opinion for like the Half-Blood Prince one and the
Mhm.
ones after that,
Yeah.
or Deathly Hallows.
Also
You don't really learn anything about their relationship.
All right.
It's kinda makes
Yeah.
sense.
To be fair, there is a lot going on in that series that never translates over. So why
And,
book fans always have something to complain about.
Yeah, or even like the Black family. Like you don't really learn anything about that side of like Harry. at all, and like serious, and
Yeah,
his
that's
like
true.
conflict with
That's
his
true.
family.
Yeah.
And also like RAD, like you just find out that it's his brother. Like
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
That's it. I was
you're
like,
right. His
no.
relationship with Sirius never hit me emotionally the same way reading it
Yeah.
did.
That's actually
you
so
know?
true.
Yeah,
'Cause
like
I was
Gary
just
Oldman
like-
dies, and you're like, oh no.
And Harry's like distraught, and like in the book he's like the feisty, like angsty Harry, you know, after like a whole book of just being hella angry at everyone.
Yeah.
And like your heart breaks like seeing like Harry lose this one guy he can relate to, and then in the movie it's just
His only family.
yeah, it's just Daniel Radcliffe lost his friend
Yeah.
Gary.
Yeah.
Like oh Gary,
Actual
no.
water from
Oh, man.
That
Yeah.
I recommend it.
Anyways,
Yeah, like Aaron went.
Back to
Yeah,
2017.
2017.
hate to time travel so much on you.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Coco was alright.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I love
all right.
You loved Coco?
I loved Coco. I love Coco.
Oh man,
Loved almost every second of it.
I just
Aw,
felt like
so good.
I just felt like it was classic corporate pandering.
Well, I
Like,
mean, that's like every Disney movie.
I
Yeah.
guess so,
They have a
but
formula.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my god,
It works.
was there ever a formula in Coco? Like,
Yeah. No, I mean it's just like that
Okay,
that
so
classic
that
story, but I
one.
think it was what I liked about this one more like so much is that it is like a culture that
Highlight
like
for
hasn't really been represented.
5:33.
It sounds
Yeah.
so cliche, like I know, like now coming
Yeah.
out of it, like talking about it, but
Bad.
it was really cool to learn about that.
Yeah.
But also like the music wasn't like outrageously like
Okay.
kind of how most Disney music is, if that makes sense.
theatrical.
Theatrical, yeah, and like epic, and this it was very like traditional, and it kind of helped me learn more about like that music style,
Okay.
which was really
That's
cool. And,
nice,
and I
yeah.
really enjoyed it. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I agree though that it was definitely like pandering to to that audience.
Do you know what was better than Coco though? The 45-minute Frozen short that aired before Coco.
Dude, so I didn't see that because I saw Coco late,
Oh
and
my God.
it the theater like switched from like the big theater that it was showing into like a smaller one, so they got rid of the short, and I was like,
Oh man,
no.
you didn't see the
I
short.
heard the short was actually good.
No,
Really?
it was
Was it
horrible.
terrible?
No,
You got it wrong.
I totally thought you were like serious. And
no, I was
like,
being sarcastic, dude. It was horrible.
oh man.
Dude, there were like
That's
so
so
many
funny.
people complained about it so much. That's why it got taken off.
Really?
Yeah, that's why it was
Oh,
taken off.
really?
Because people complained.
Oh, that's so sad.
It was too long, dude. It was like straight up 30 minutes
45
long.
minutes, you said?
It was like 30
Wow,
minutes, yeah.
okay.
That's
That didn't
ridiculous. That
register
is
in my mind
But
until
that's
now.
still long, dude.
Yeah, no, that's
Like,
ridiculous.
that's like
Yeah,
watching an
that's
episode of
absurd.
television before this
Watching a
movie.
That's a whole Black Mirror episode.
Yeah, the plot of any Black Mirror episode would only start picking up after 30 minutes. So you're right.
Right.
Yeah.
Man.
Just kidding, Black Mirror. Don't sue us.
I
We
know.
love
we love
you.
your show.
Yeah.
Yeah, we really do.
Look at the computer's like webcam as you say that. Sorry, guys.
If you're listening.
Yeah. Did you see Logan?
I didn't. Yeah. I think that came out during finals week for me or something.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Paycheck.
Yeah, I definitely
Heard great
saw
things
that.
about it, though.
Goddamn.
I got carded going into Logan.
So that works out.
That's so funny.
I am 22 years old. I got carded going into Logan. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because it was rated R, right?
Yeah.
And,
That's so
you have to be
funny.
17.
Yeah.
Yeah, 17.
I got carded buying my ticket.
Oh my
I
God.
got carded going inside.
That's
Which
so
did you go to
funny.
Regal?
Yeah.
Is that why though? Because I
You
think
get it right
Regal's the
after
only
your
one that like
test.
cares
Yeah.
about that shit.
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
You
'Cause
got
they
all
used
these
to have-
tattoos for nothing.
they
Still
started-
get carded.
Because they started like checking your bags like for snacks and stuff.
Oh,
And I was
for
like,
real?
how
Right.
dare you?
Yeah.
Yeah, how dare you? I'm
I mean,
not
I kind of
getting paid.
understand.
I mean,
but I'm also
from a
like,
business,
yeah.
perspective, I
I
get
just
it.
I have lots of fruit in there, so I always feel weird when they check to ask and like, why does this girl have 10 bananas in her backpack?
488. How did you do
Oh,
that?
Yeah.
That was 321.
What else we see last year?
Dunkirk.
Dunkirk.
Ooh,
Let's talk about it.
It was so sad. I was very underwhelmed.
it was beautiful.
It was
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah, I think that's what
I
is
like-
frustrating is that it's so beautiful, but it's like not the beautiful
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wanted.
Mhm.
You know, like I'm very selfish in the movies,
Yeah.
but
So,
it's Nolan.
I really enjoyed. He wasn't really in it though. The commander who stayed behind to make sure that everybody made it. I can't think of his name. He was in.
Oh,
Murder.
Ooh.
Kenneth Branagh.
Yeah, yeah,
Branagh?
yeah.
What?
Oh.
How do you
Yeah,
say it?
yeah.
Murder
Yeah.
on the
Yeah, or
Orient
Yeah.
Express, yeah.
That-
Yeah,
that
Hamlet,
actor.
super big Shakespeare dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Gilderoy Lockhart.
Gilderoy Lockhart.
Oh yeah.
That's crazy,
He
dude.
was
That is so
excellent
funny.
Yeah,
as
he was great
Lockhart.
as him. I
He
really
is
liked him in
so-
that movie. I thought he was great. Everyone was talking about Harry Styles like he was amazing in it, and I was like,
Alright, well, welcome back. We lost like half of our footage because my camera doesn't record long enough. Anyways, Dunkirk was cool. but it wasn't at the same time. I don't know.
Yeah, there were things that I enjoyed and there were things that I didn't, and there were things that I expected from both of them that I didn't necessarily get. But I agree with the choices because it worked with the narrative, I think, that they were setting up.
Yeah. Yeah. It was okay too. Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was alright. I also think that It and Wonder Woman are just two movies that nobody expected to be good that ended up being not bad.
Mm-hmm.
And people have just been fawning non-stop over these two movies. And I think that it was just okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it had really, really good horror sequences. I was legitimately scared in like some points of this movie. But then there are other parts of this movie where they wash off blood in a bathroom to like happy 80s music, and I'm just like, what happened here? Like, I feel like I'm watching two different movies. I think the child performances were very solid, not just for child performances, but just as actors in general. But yeah, I thought it was alright. I mean, I think there were just like huge tonal issues that were just left unchecked.
For which one? Sorry.
It.
Dunkirk.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
It,
it?
yeah.
Oh.
When did you say it? I
Yeah, this whole
I heard
time.
Oh,
I heard Dunkirk and
yeah,
Wonder
no.
Woman.
I said
You-
it was alright.
Oh, I thought you meant like the movie.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
That's so
yeah,
funny.
because you turned around and like made eye contact with me, and I was like nodding, like yes,
I'm
like
like,
yeah,
yeah,
what
yeah,
you're saying.
it was alright.
I really
It was
did
alright.
it.
Dunkirk was also alright though. Not a
That's
huge
so
fan.
funny. It was
Oh
alright.
my
Okay.
gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the
Because there were so many children in Dunkirk.
Right.
Yeah, well, that's
Yeah,
why I was
that's why
like,
I was
was he
like-
Harry Styles? I was like, he's kind of an adult.
Yeah, does
like,
he have the two teens?
He's
I
a
mean, I
grown-ass
guess they're
man.
children.
Yeah.
like-
Don't disrespect Harry that way.
and I was like, it's a nice
Ah.
person.
Yeah, it for me went downhill. And that one scene where the boy who like stutters, like I called it right away when we were introduced to a stuttering child. And I mean, I read the book like years ago, but I don't remember much, and I only read like parts of it. But when like he starts stuttering in the movie, I like whispered to my best friend. I was like, "Hey, like just watch. There's gonna be some scene where like they just lose all their bravery, and this kid is gonna lose his stutter and give this beautiful speech about how like
Yeah.
friendship,
Yeah.
friends, loyalty, bravery, and then the rest would be like, oh, he didn't stutter." And then they like just go into the house and like chase this like motherfucking clown, and that is
Yeah,
exactly what
that's
happened.
exactly what happens, yeah.
Yeah,
Dude.
It's so
called
funny.
it.
So cliche.
Oh my gosh.
But I love the kids.
But you know what though? Like that was also like that movie originally was made like back in a time when
yeah,
you kind of did that. Like and also like that also like
yeah.
like the
I
story
didn't see.
too.
I didn't see the old one, so I guess
The
it's
old one.
different.
Oh my gosh!
Man.
I would definitely like
I
recommend
saw
seeing
some
it,
scenes, right? and, like,
just for the acting performance.
yeah, Kurt
They're
was, like,
hilarious.
Really freaky.
It's so good. It's so good though. Like it's so different. Like for that time, I think as well. Like in terms of horror, like
Mhm.
and like a villain.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it was typically like slasher and stuff or Clockwork Orange.
I think that Tim Curry as the original Pennywise was fantastic,
Mm-hmm.
but the performances from like the actual actors, like the people that are trying to survive, especially as the adults, are so bad.
Oh,
Like
In the original?
in the original.
Oh, yeah.
In the
okay.
original. Like you can make a drinking game out of how bad the movie is in the original one.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I had a lot of
Such a shame.
skepticism. Yeah, right. I had a lot of skepticism towards this original or to the new It, and it wasn't bad. It was okay.
I was just surprised that it it had such a great response, to be honest. Because I was like, I bet you it's gonna be okay. It's not gonna be as good as the original was, and then that's it. Like it's gonna be decent, but then like everyone was like, no, it's so good, you have to see it. Like I saw the original too, and I was like, oh shit, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wonder Woman. We need to stop with all of this, internet. Like, it's not that good. It's not that good.
What do you guys think of her acting?
It's bad.
Gal?
It's bad.
It's bad.
She plays the character
I like
well.
her a lot though.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I like her in the character, but I don't think she's a good
it fits,
actress.
but yeah, I don't think that it's kind of like a Paul Walker situation there, where like
Oh yeah.
he fits the role, but it's not necessarily like outstanding acting ability.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
like his movies were great, but they weren't like, you know,
Yeah.
memorable in the terms of like acting and stuff like that.
I mean, maybe it's like because it's a superhero movie. I mean, I haven't seen it, so my understanding is very limited. But arguably, Christian Bale, outside of The Dark Knight, like he's a great actor, like American Psycho and all of that. But in The Dark Knight, he never really is needed like to be like the emotional supporter, like the backbone. Like he's
Yeah.
not that deep emotionally as Christian Bale.
Yeah, it was kind of weird seeing him like cry over.
That's Bruce Wayne. Sorry.
Yeah.
Christian Bale. That's Christian Bale,
Yeah.
folks.
In, The
I would
Dark
love to see a
Knight.
movie like that.
in The Dark Knight where Michael Caine doesn't give him the letter or whatever, where he's like, she was gonna wait for me, Alfred. It wasn't I agree, it wasn't super he wasn't great at it, but yeah, that's so funny.
Yeah. Oh man, Christian Bale.
Oh man.
Can we talk about Alfred and just how good he is as just Alfred, like Michael Caine, and how he has
yeah, perfect.
the same role every time. He comes in as the voice of reason.
Mm-hmm.
That
Still
motherfucker
waiting.
was in Miss Congeniality.
Yeah,
Just saying.
right.
And he was great in it. He stole the show. Be the crown. Classic.
Michael Caine's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
such a wonderful actor.
Yeah. Oh man, how was Lady Bird?
Oh, this is so weird answering this a second time. But,
Trying to make it organic.
Alright,
Trying to make
yeah.
it organic.
How do I take a fresh spin on this? But anyway, okay, I really liked Lady Bird because I feel like a lot of coming of age movies aren't done that well when it's a girl, because normally a girl will be like, oh my god, mom, I'm ugly, I'm bleeding down there, and it's just so weird. Or
there's so
I like
much
Johnny,
more.
but he doesn't like me back. But this is a good example of a girl who does try to be popular, that is a truth that a lot of girls have to come to terms with, and this movie really helps me come to terms with that. She is a very flawed, typical girl going through puberty, has her whiny moments, but we love her just the same. And I think that really speaks to Greta Gerwig's direction and her understanding of the female perspective.
I heard the script in that movie is fantastic with the dialogue. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. How old is Saoirse Ronan's character in that movie?
She's in high school.
Oh.
She has prom, so that age. And I think she's around our age in real life, 22, I want to say. Yeah. Great
Have you
job.
seen 13 Reasons Why on Netflix?
Yeah,
Oh,
fuck that
goodness.
show.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah. I'll still watch the second season.
Yeah.
Fuck that show.
In a good way or a bad way?
I was just so depressed after that
Oh,
last
yeah.
episode.
Oh yeah.
And I think I have a weird bias against Selena Gomez. I'm sure she's a nice lady, but
She's
the fact that she produced that show.
Oh, she did? Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I find
forgot
it just so
about
odd that she can make a show about, a woman going through sexual assault and then work with Woody Allen. But that is another debate
Ooh.
that,
Wow,
we can have
yeah.
a whole feminist talk about this some other time.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That was someone posted. I saw recently on Facebook because everyone's all high on Oprah right now with the Golden Globe speech,
Oh,
which
yeah.
was wonderful.
Yeah.
Which was wonderful. By the way. But it was in quotes champion of women, and it was her taking pictures with Harvey Weinstein. I'm like, that just means negates everything, every
Yeah.
great thing that she's done. But yeah.
Yeah.
Tough times are going through.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy.
But one of you guys brought up a good point. What is the climate of Hollywood right now? How is that going to affect the Oscars?
Yeah, I mean, I think just with this, you're seeing it in the style of movies that are being made now, and that more people have a voice in different communities as well.
Yeah.
Not just females, but like you said, Lady Bird, or not Lady Bird. What was the other movie that was Moonlight? I haven't seen it. So
Call Me by Your name.
Call Me by Your Name.
Yeah.
Stuff like that is great material and great content that I think we're going to see more of, and a lot of it I think has to do with things like #Oscar So White or Me Too and or all that.
Yeah, I think it's especially since I take so many film history classes. I think in a decade, we're gonna look back at 2017 and see it as a transitional year where Hollywood actually became accountable for the type of stuff that it did and witnessed. And who knows? I'm excited to see what kind of content churns out, especially now that so many women are growing stronger. But again, it might also be a very, very, very slow change.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, just up and down the board, I think that 2017 was an interesting year in the sense that there were a lot of movies that needed to be made. I think that Get Out, and take it for what it is, I think that's a very good... I think it's a great movie on top of being a satire for a lot of, I don't know, just societal issues that we have going on.
Yeah.
And then we have two really big movies that were helmed by, two very, very skilled female movie makers. You have Patty Jenkins, I don't even know if that's her last name, who directed Wonder Woman, which was a box office smash. Overrated, but a box office smash. And then you have Greta Gerwig.
Yeah, Greta Gerwig.
Yeah, who directed a Golden Globe winning Oscar nominated, probably. We'll find out on Tuesday, movie in Lady Bird. Yeah. And then Logan was another movie that everyone liked because it was a dark and gritty
Yeah, I enjoyed it a little bit more.
action movie.
Because kind of like that genre of movie and superhero movies in general, I think is needed to kind of go darker as well. And there's been a need for that. And Logan and Deadpool are kind of sort of, I don't want to say icon, but they're kind of like paving the way for other series to kind of do that. And that's why I was initially excited for the DC movies with like Batman again of thing, and Justice League, because it looked like they were going to go in that direction. I haven't seen really any of them besides Batman versus Superman, so I don't think that's the case. I don't think it ended up working out the way I wanted, but yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And Justice League was bad, so
Justice
Justice League was very
Which
bad.
makes me
What a
so
shame.
sad.
Yeah.
So sad
Oh,
because
man.
Jason Momoa. I love Jason Momoa and I love
Ezra Miller.
Ezra Miller.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Percy and Wallflowers, hands down one of my favorite movies.
Interesting.
And books as well.
He has a tiny role in the Stanford Prison Experiment.
Yeah.
He's excellent there.
Yeah.
You should check that out.
Yeah. Have you seen There's Something Wrong with Kevin?
Oh, is he
That's
in that?
him?
Yeah.
No way.
He's
I
Kevin?
always knew like Tilda Swinton was like excellent there, but I
Tilda
didn't realize
Swinton.
he was
Is
Kevin.
it John C. Reilly too, right? Or is that a different movie I'm thinking of? But like the stepdad is like,
Ooh.
I think it's John C. Reilly, and I was like, what?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Something Wrong with Kevin.
Speaking of which, Vince Vaughn came out in 2017. I forgot the name of the movie, but he's
As a
like
Republican?
no.
Oh, okay. He is a Republican, which surprises me.
Good for Vince.
Yeah.
He came out as Republican.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, he came out with a movie where he's like a gangster. Like a gangsta. Yeah, Vince Vaughn. And apparently it's good.
Did it
He
work?
does very well,
What?
yeah.
No
What?
way. Go
Trying to
Vince.
rebrand himself. Go Vince, yeah. It's like Matthew McConaughey. People forget that Matthew McConaughey
Did
was in
like a
very bad
180,
movies.
right?
Yeah.
Sarah.
he was in
Greatest
some
bad movie of all time.
Gold Dust or whatever it was called.
Failure to launch.
Fool's
Failure to
Gold.
Launch. Fool's
Fool's
Gold.
Gold, yeah.
Gold Dust.
Dude, everybody forgets about Kevin Hart
Yeah.
before he became Kevin Hart. Dude, he was in like Scary Movie 3.
Oh, that's right. And he was in 40-Year-Old Virgin too.
wow.
He's so good.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro.
Oh my god.
Yeah, now Matthew McConaughey is like awesome, and that's I want to see actors not get typecast because Vince Vaughn plays Vince Vaughn in every movie.
Yeah.
Just like the fast talking asshole.
Dude, I was saying, I can't remember who I was talking to about this, that like, I remember watching Vince Vaughn in Psycho, the remake of Psycho, and it was fucking crazy, and he was so good in it. And then he just went on a string of hilarious movies because he was in the movie Old School.
Yeah.
And from there, he kind of just did Wedding Crashers and all those, and Couples Retreat and all this stuff. And then he kind of, when he was casted on True Detective Season 2,
Yeah.
because he was kind of like the bad guy. I was very excited, but I heard that season was ending.
Wow.
Yeah. True Detective Season 1 was really good.
Yeah, Matthew
haven't
McConaughey.
seen
Yeah.
it.
Awesome.
Right. Yeah.
I gotta say, I'm very impressed they made a Psycho remake at all. I think that's like the last thing any director would want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
that's
such an
just-
iconic
It's a
movie.
big feat.
Yeah.
So true.
My dad showed me that movie when I was like 8 years old, right before I went into a shower.
Oh.
Oh, nice.
Man, your dad is just
And
like...
I have that like same exact like shower curtain too, and I was like at the time. And I
Oh
was
gosh,
like,
that's horrifying.
You started
he's
crying
like,
in the
"Wait,
shower.
Come here. Watch this scene real quick. And it was the one with Vince Vaughn, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is horrible. It's in color, so I can't even like, you know what I mean? I can't
It's
even
in
escape
color.
it. It's so real. It was awful.
So funny.
Yeah.
That's my dad, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Lots of movies I haven't seen this year, but I need to catch up on.
Mm-hmm.
Before we go ahead and sign off, what were your guys' favorite movies of this year?
I wasn't ready for the first time you asked this question. I'm still not ready. I don't know if I had like a specific one, but it was definitely like there was a few. Like I actually did enjoy Guardians 2.
Okay.
For the laughs. But it was obviously just a setup. But I also really enjoyed Logan as well.
Gotcha. I have two. I really love 3 Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri. I think that Frances McDermott was awesome. I think that Sam Rockwell was surprisingly
Sam Rockwell's
Yeah.
surprisingly really well written
Yeah.
for his character. And if you've seen the movie, I think you know what I'm talking about. But I also really liked A Ghost Story, which has Casey Affleck in it. And there's like, that is a movie with next to no dialogue. If you were annoyed with the lack of dialogue in Dunkirk, I feel like you might go crazy watching A Ghost Story, because there's a 15-minute period where no words are said.
Really?
Yeah, 15 minutes.
Wow. I mean,
And-
if it's well done, it's well done.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's so well done, and it's such like a beautiful story about time and the way that we view our loved ones who are gone. It's a really good movie, but you're probably never going to hear anything about it. So yeah, heard it here first.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cheat and choose 2 as well, like for comedy and then drama. But I really liked Call Me by Your Name.
Great movie.
Which again, like I feel like it might be hurt because another gay movie came out last year, and so people might not think there's a need for another one so soon. But I do think it's very quietly beautiful. I think it's atmospheric, and I think the 2 leads are just so good together.
Yeah.
And like there's this crazy way the director makes these 2 guys look more and less attractive throughout the movie. Like I don't know if it's just me, but do you think that Timothée Chalamet like just kind of blossoms in front of the screen before you and you don't realize it, and then at some point you realize Armie Hammer isn't memorable at all, and like you can't remember what he looks like?
Wow, that's
Because
so
I felt that
fascinating.
happening, and I was like, I think this is intentional, and I don't know what kind of camera tricks they
Yeah.
used, but it suits the characters and like
Wow.
their storyline.
That's so
Seems really
powerful.
cool.
Yeah.
That's so powerful.
Yeah. And then I think for comedy, I'd say actually Spider-Man Homecoming.
Ah.
Yeah, which is like, it's a very blockbuster selection, but I think it hits all the points like correctly. Like that is what you expect from the movies, right?
Yeah.
Like from a
Yeah.
great movie. And it's just so well liked. And yeah.
Yeah.
I really liked Homecoming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I will say that the actor, I can't think of his name.
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland.
Oh, he's so perfect.
He did like I think most people's arguments of that the reasons that the first 2 kind of series failed was that like Tobey Maguire was a great Peter Parker, but he was a terrible Spider-Man, and
Yeah.
Andrew Garfield was a great
Right.
Spider-Man, but a terrible Peter Parker. And I think that he kind of hits both so well.
Yeah.
And I think it helps that he's so young too.
Yeah, it's a
And
nice
so
take on the character.
he's able to kind of I think relate to it a little bit more than the other 2.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting year for movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna change my answer real quick to
Oh,
Coco.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Likes
because
it
I
that
think
much.
that was I really did. The music was great visually as well.
Uh-huh.
You know, Pixar is so great at animation, but just like the colors, their use of color in it was so great, and really showcasing like a culture through like visually.
Right.
I think is kind of hard to do, especially in like an animated film
Yeah.
to do that so
Yeah.
accurately.
Man, I'm so underwhelmed by Coco. I expected something like so great. I like the premise of it a lot, and I like the fact that I don't know, it was something that I thought that I had never seen before, and then it just became the same like
Storyline over
the same like gotta find this person, you know.
Yeah, going on this journey.
Yeah.
Then there's a twist. I will say though, not to like give anything away, there was a twist in it that I didn't see coming.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
it was the confrontation scene with the three people.
Oh,
three
yeah.
characters. Yeah.
I know what you
I did not see that twist coming, and I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of cool too. And I thought that 2017 was cool. Well, I think we're going to wrap it up here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks for watching. This went as well as I could have thought or hoped,
Yeah.
despite the fact we had to film the
It
second
was a
half
lot of
again.
fun.
Yeah.
I know.
Watch
So
us
much
next
talking.
time.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. Good job, guys.
Woo!